Hi everyone, my name is Jenna and welcome to my channel Divine Direction. In this video, we are going to be looking at the messages for the sign of Leo. Now Leo, I have this song playing in my head and the song is irrelevant, but they just kept playing it like quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. So I'm kind of getting the vibe, now I'm feeling dizzy. Whew. I'm getting the vibe that we are trying to make things happen at a rapid pace, or that we're trying to do too much at once. Now you have the 10 of Wands and the Cheetah card. So that's definitely confirming those vibes for me. Now, with the 10 of Swords, he has these 10 swords in his back, but he's still trying to reach for his broom. It's like, I want to keep going. You want to keep going. I totally understand that. I have definitely been the type of person where it's like, I need to keep going, need to keep going, keep going. But sometimes, Leo, we benefit from having a pause, even if it's just like 15 minutes a day, just to have a break. And that helps us bring in some clarity. There's a couple of things that I'm getting from your spread. One of them is, you are carrying a lot. So this might not resonate with everybody, but I feel that some of you are carrying a lot in how do I want to put this? It's like you have a lot on your shoulders, but in the way of emotional things that we need to deal with, okay? It's like you're trying to outrun it maybe, but you're not really realizing that. I've seen this in myself and I've seen this in other people where we try so hard to focus on other things so we don't have to focus on maybe feelings, negative feelings that we don't want to deal with, okay? So for those of you who are resonating with this, and there is another aspect to this and I'll get to that quickly, but for those of you who are needing to take some time to deal with some past emotions, you would truly benefit from this, okay? Because either way, whether it's having to deal with this emotional trauma or these negative feelings or negative circumstances, or it's just you're trying to do way too much at once, I'm getting the feeling that there's burnout coming, okay? Now, if this has to do with healing this emotional trauma or going through, how do I want to put this? Okay, the example that my angels and guides are giving me is recently I was working a full-time job, okay? And during this process, I broke up with someone who was showing signs of abuse. And because I was so busy, my life was like really busy, busier than I'm used to, okay? I would wake up at 5 a.m. and I would get ready for work and I would go to work and I would come home, and by the time I got home, it would be after 5. I would eat dinner, I would clean up, I would make my lunch for the next day, I would go downstairs, maybe watch an episode of Netflix, read, and fall asleep. And that was my day. And I just felt tired, and anyways, it doesn't matter, okay? I didn't feel like I had a lot of time for myself, even on the weekends. It was always go, 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 go. One day during work, there was a girl who started making criticisms about what I was doing, and she was criticizing the smallest things. This had to do more with herself, which I acknowledge and I understand that. But did it make me feel any better? No. So she kept cutting and cutting at me and cutting at me. And this was over a series of days. And it really pissed me off, to be honest. But when someone keeps coming at you, it can knock you down, okay? One day, she was acting like that and something else happened with someone else. It wasn't necessarily about me, but I took it about me. And I started getting kind of weepy. I was seeing somebody at work And so this was like weeks and weeks after, months after having this breakup. And I was just in a new sort of relationship with somebody I was working with. Okay? He came up to me and was like, "Are you okay?" And I just started bawling. Absolutely bawling. And I kept saying, "I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough." I ended up going outside with him for a break, and I started bawling again. And I was like inconsolable. My manager called me into the office to see if I was okay. He already knew about some of the situations of what was being said to me. And I said to him, "You know what? I'm realizing that this is because I never dealt with the feelings from my previous relationship, where every time I would check my phone, I was scared because I kept being told what I was doing wrong. So it was like I never did anything right." And this girl, she triggered that within me, and all of this stuff triggered old feelings from childhood. So I didn't take the time to deal with that. It was something that, I felt like I was okay. I did. And I was so busy. And you're feeling the joys of creating a new relationship with someone. And it was just like, I needed to deal with it. And it just happened. Okay? What they're saying here is when you are so busy, Leo, that it can be difficult for us to actually take the time to realize what needs to be healed, what needs to be addressed and acknowledged and let go, all right? Because when we are exhausted, sometimes it's the smallest thing and that can make us blow up. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to happen for you, but I'm just like, when we are trying to do so much or there's so much going on, it's like one small thing can just make you break down, okay? And as I said, I am feeling that whoever might be resonating with this, you are moving towards burnout. Like, absolutely. So what my guides are really strongly encouraging this half of the Leos who are resonating with this is to take some time to acknowledge your feelings and what's going on, okay? So whether it was a breakup that just recently happened, maybe you lost a job, maybe you lost a loved one, maybe it was a circumstance where someone was being absolutely rude to you. There's so many different things that this could be, but when we take some time to sit with ourselves, for that acknowledgement to come up, that is very beneficial for us, because after I had that big bawling fit, everyone was very understanding, which is awesome. It's like, if this was represented with this knife, it was taken out of my back. So there's one less thing that I need to carry now, okay? These things pop up for a reason. So when we think about maybe a situation from our past, even our childhood or high school, and someone saying something to us or a situation making us feel a certain way, it pops up for a reason. Or if somebody at our workplace triggers us, or something that we see on social media triggers us, it's like your higher self saying, "Hey honey, there's something here that I need you to pay attention to," okay? And it can be annoying. It can be really annoying, but it's also really beneficial when we take the time to acknowledge that, because that removes, it's like removing a blockage from ourselves. that makes it so much easier to move forward, okay? So I'll give you an example of something popping up, another one. When I left work, not after that, but like when I finished working that full-time job, that girl messaged me and I ignored her because I didn't want anything to do with her. But I felt bad about it. I felt so guilty. And you know what, I forget about it, but then I think about it and it would just make me feel so guilty. And I'm like, why the hell do I feel so guilty? This person treated me like crap. Why do I feel guilty for not responding to her? And then I realized, because I didn't want her to feel ignored. And it's funny that I wouldn't want her to feel ignored for all that she's done to me. But one of my triggers is feeling ignored. And when I had that realization that because I know what it's like to be ignored, to feel ignored, I didn't want anyone else to feel that way, including her. When I had that realization, poof, do you think I cared anymore? No, I didn't. You know what? Maybe that's something that she needs to learn, right? Maybe that's a trigger for her, and that's something that she needs to work on. And my guys are like, yay! We had that realization, and that's really good. Having that realization can help us just, and with the significance of this little feather, okay? Sometimes it just takes something so small, like that acknowledgement, that realization, gone. But that, for weeks, that was nagging at me. You're ignoring her, Jenna. Maybe you should message her. Well, it's too late now. I should really message her, but she doesn't deserve me to message her. And it just, like that conversation back and forth, back and forth. And all it took was that acknowledgement, and then poof, gone. And then I can move on with my life. That's one less worry. Okay? So that's what they're saying here, Leo, is if you have a bunch of things that are gnawing at you right now, or you just feel like you're carrying so much, sometimes it's just the awareness of the situation and talking it through can really be beneficial. I've done this with situations where people made fun of me when I was younger, and I talked through it. This is how I felt. This is how I felt in this situation. And, you know, in some cases, I would forgive the person for what they did, because a lot of the times, especially with knowing people when I was younger, I know that they didn't have the best life growing up, okay? So that helped me to forgive them, and then I forgave myself for allowing it to bother me, okay? And I sent us both love, and I moved on. Some things are just going to be that easy to gone, right? Other things, it might take layers. So if you are trying to outrun these feelings, which I'm definitely feeling, Leo, you would actually benefit more from acknowledging them, because then it's gone. They're showing me the image of a buffalo. When there's a storm, buffalo will run into the storm. It's like just to get it done and over with, whereas other animals might try to outrun it, but eventually it catches up with them, okay? When we just deal with stuff, head on, then we can relax afterwards, okay? That's what they're saying here. That's when that feeling of freedom comes in. And that's when we acknowledge those situations when people are bothering us too. We can go into a workplace and realize that this doesn't bother me anymore, and it used to bother the crap out of me. That's when you have that power, that true power, because anyone can say anything to you in that kind of situation, and you'll be like, okay, you're rude, but I'm moving on with my life, okay? Now, for those of you who, right, okay. My guides are showing me a bunch of hobbies, okay? Some of you would really benefit from taking time to do more of what you love to do. I'm only going to touch on this a little bit, but when you're so busy, it's so hard to be able to not only see, what's going on in your life, in your body, in your mind, right? But they're making me feel so clear. When we take time, even like an hour a day, where we read or we paint, we do something that we enjoy doing, and just kind of do that in the quiet by ourselves, that gives us so much, my guys are saying freedom. That gives us the time for us to gain that clarity, for these things to pop up, for us to acknowledge, so we can get that freedom. If that makes sense. If you imagine that all of these brooms that she's carrying are emotional things that she needs to deal with, how much easier would it be if she dealt with them one by one? Okay? And again, some things are going to be deeper, they're going to require layers, and that's okay, because you'll deal with it and then it will come back a little bit later. But it's like you get a break from it. And then eventually there'll be this sense of freedom where you can just release your hat, throw caution to the wind, let it go, let those old feelings go, and have that feeling of freedom. Okay? Yeah. Leo, if this is you trying to do so much to try to get to an end result, it's just like you're trying to manifest so much in your life, which now I'm starting to feel is only a small portion of this reading. My guides always strongly encourage that we take it like one step at a time, or no more than like 3, okay? So if there's a bunch of things that you want to change in your life or manifest in your life, let's start small and start by maybe prioritizing, maybe you want to change your job or manifest a new job. Let's start with, if that's our number one priority, let's start with that and break down the steps that we are going to take to make that achievable. Because if you're going to try to manifest or work on 10 things at once, you're scattering your energy, okay? My guides are saying that is the same with when we are working on healing. It doesn't work like that where we try to work through everything at once. You know what? When you're on a healing journey, you just want it all to be healed and done with. And try to sail through that, it's not going to work. It's too much at once. It's too much. There's been many times where I've been on my healing journey and I had to say to my guides, I need a break. I need a break. I can't do any more right now. Because we were just like steadily going through it and I wasn't working at the time. So that was perfect, but we kept going through it and I said, this one was too much for me, okay? This was extra for me. I need to take a break. And they will listen. They will listen. We are in control of this. They will listen. But sometimes you need to do that for yourself too, right? Tell yourself, I need to take a break. I feel like this reading was a little bit all over the place, Leo, so I apologize for that. But this is just, this could be part of scattered thinking or they're making me feel dizzy again. Like there's so much going on, or that we're trying to do that our thinking is just scattered. So again, taking that time for ourselves to create that clarity of mind. Yeah, because they're saying, but you have the High Honor card, and they're saying, Leo, you are trying to do the equivalent of what a whole army could do, okay? So you really need to take some time. Take some time. Because you will burn out, okay? Okay, Leo, I'm going to leave your message at that. I hope you understood this message. I just feel like it's all over the place. Clarity of mind, clarity of mind. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye.